Yo, what's guys, Bryce here, and we're back at it again for another video. And in this video we have another race from NARL. This is Long Beach. I've practiced for a while for this race, and I'm just super pumped to get right into this race. Qualified, I'm so bad at the qualifying positions because I usually don't record qualifying, but qualifying went pretty well, and I think overall we were maybe 10th or 12th, but in our class we are P2, so this is really good. This championship is really battling with Paulo Godai. He came in third, I think, in the first race. I won the first race. Second race, he scored a lot of points. He won that race, and now this is pretty much the battle between us because I need to kind of do some catching up to do because I made a mistake in Sebring. So let's get right into this. So you can see here, here's the start. He's there on our left. We have the inside line going into the hairpin. Really tight hairpin. You can see him on the outside in the Audi, the blue Audi. Almost touch him there, just turning as much as I can, and we're gonna line up for the grid here. And once we kind of slow down, the race gets started. You can see he pulls away. He gets a really good start here, and we're sitting in P12 right now as the race labs shovels up a little bit of pressure, so we make sure to defend the inside line. The last thing we want to do is lose any positions lap one. We're gonna break super late going down. You can see someone's already around the outside, another pro driver who we're not worried about. Remember, we're in Pro-Am. A little bit of an accident here, and look how close we are on our championship rival. We are right here on the bumper of him, and in my mind, I didn't really know it was him because again, first lap, I'm not looking at standings. I'm literally focusing really hard, and he doesn't have his decal, so again, it's kind of like I have to look at the standings to see who it is. And we're gonna move to the inside, potentially a threat for a move. Go down the inside, keeping it really tight. Cold tires still. I just make sure to leave plenty of room so we don't make an accident on lap one. On the outside here, I'm gonna try to get a late apex, potentially go around the outside, but we're gonna cut back. Super close battling here. We have a long straight down to turn 9. This is gonna be a really good opportunity for me to pass him for the lead in Pro-Am. We're gonna be right behind him, move to the outside, brake as later as I can, almost later than him. A little bit of oversteer, and we're able to keep it on the inside, keeping a nice tight line to the inside. He goes a little bit wide, and that allows us to get that position, and we are in the lead right now in Pro-Am. So at the time I didn't know where I was, but once I kind of realized that I was in the lead, this lap here was my fastest lap of the race, and we're just gonna do a nice little speed cam so you can just see all of the cars on the grid. We have 32 drivers today, and I love Long Beach. I cannot describe how much fun this race was. Every single lap, it's just about concentrating as much as you can, getting as close as you can to the walls without hitting them. And yeah, it's a street circuit in California. Who wouldn't love a track like this with tantalizing walls, curbs, and palm trees everywhere? So lap 1, you can see all of the cars on the grid, a lot of cars behind us and a lot in front of us as well. P9, a whole lot of Audis. You can see there on the left. There was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 Lamborghinis in this whole race. So not that many Lamborghinis, a hell of a lot of Audis, 2 BMWs and 1 McLaren, 1 Porsche too. So a lot of Audis. This was Audi heaven, pretty much. You can see there someone hits the wall back behind us. I felt really comfortable in the Lamborghini, honestly. That's why I chose this car. I love the Lamborghini. I don't even own the Audi, so I wouldn't have had a chance to drive it anyway. But yeah, from this point on, it's just about maintaining the tires. Fuel, I wasn't too concerned about. This track is not really quote-unquote fuel-saving track. You can fuel save at any track, obviously, but it just wasn't really like a fuel-saving opportunity or moment for me. I didn't practice it too much. Next week is Red Bull Ring, so I'm gonna be looking to fuel save a lot. But again, in the lead right now. But we were in a really good spot in Sebring and we choked. So really, it's gonna come down to that pit stop. Can we get a nice pit stop? We're gonna take you for an onboard lap here, turn 1, using this curb on the left to kind of open up this next corner. Fountain section right here. I called it the garden section. I guess fountain and garden are quite similar, but I think it's more known as the fountain section. A right-hander there. We have another right-hander here. Use the curb on the inside. A little bit of oversteer. That was the occurring action all race. A lot of oversteer on that curb. Going down to this corner here, braking right before the 200-meter board. Using as much curb as you can on the inside. Get as close as you can to that wall. Gonna really wash out to the right before you bring it back to the left. Braking at the 200. Trail braking off the brakes on power as aggressively as you can, so you can carry a lot of speed down this straight. Going down to turn 9. And this corner here is all about using the curb on the inside and just rolling the car in, carrying a good amount of speed, braking after the 400-meter board. Again, using the curb on the inside, slowly unwind that wheel. Once you pass the drainage, lift off the gas, nice and tidy and clean through here. take the normal racing line through there. Try not to take too much of a late apex because it will slow you down. That's kind of what I found. A lot of the fast guys, they'll take too late of an apex, and through there it's just about going on the worn in part of the track. You can see I'll do it again here, but this is the pit stop. This is 15 minutes left in this race, so it's a bit of a late pit stop. You can see just how tight it is, and you can see we're going to dive into the pits here. This is the heart and mouth moment because this is where I screwed up last race, but I made sure I didn't screw up. I was very, very careful going into the pits here because we can throw away the win, and a race that we come in last in or out of the points, it's going to be really hard to be in contention for this championship at all in Pro-Am. And we go into the pits here. So yeah, obviously aiming for this Pro-Am championship. I almost won the Pro Championship last year. Not almost, but I was very, very close if I just didn't make a few mistakes. So yeah, that's really what I'm going for, and I cannot make any mistakes. And we get out the pits pretty quickly. Long Beach, the laps are really short, so you can do a lot of laps until you have to go into the pits. And it's a slow stroll all the way to the end. It's about 40 mile an hour speed limit. Once you pass those green cones, you can unlock that speed limiter, and we're gonna go down the straight here. And you can see Fabio Zamperlini is actually on the straight there, the season 1 championship winner, and we're gonna get a pretty nice exit, almost hitting that wall on the outside. Jesus, I did not know how close I was until just watching that now. And yeah, I'm in a really good spot right now because we have Zamperlini behind us, and then eventually Polo Godai ends up behind Zamperlini. So Zamperlini is like a buffer. As long as Zamperlini, and we're not racing against him for our class, you know, I'm racing him for the overall, but we're not racing him in our class. So that means that there's not much of a risk if he passes me. So I wasn't going to fight it if he went for that move, but I was definitely going to keep him behind for as long as I can. Because again, that's a really nice buffer. It's a car in between me and my championship rival. So this is really good. We're in a good spot here. 13 minutes left. It's just same thing as in the beginning. Managing those tires. The tires are starting to get a little bit iffy by now. But really, I wasn't pushing too hard. I wasn't pushing like crazy. I was really just watching those tires, make sure I didn't outbrake myself, fooling a lot around with the brake bias. And yeah, pretty much kind of a uneventful race. I started second, right now in the lead of this race, and this is the last lap right here, and you can see Zamperlini's behind us, and our rival Godai is in 12th place. So it's just completing this last lap pretty much, which you can assume that we already did. And yeah, going on this last lap here, this last lap I was actually pushing a little bit more just to see if I can kind of push the car on this last lap of the race, as the tires were getting a little bit worn at this point. But yeah, this is the last lap of the race, feeling pretty good. P10 overall is where I finished, and as you can guess, I did win in Pro-Am, which is really good for the points in the championship. And from here on out, it's just going to be consistent races pretty much. I'm going to be looking to win more races in the future, as I'm just practicing a lot more, really, and just putting a lot more work into practicing, which is really going to pay off and show, and just do my best. If I don't win, I don't win, but that's what I'm going to be aiming for in Pro-Am. So coming across the last few corners here, we're going to come around the hairpin, and that is going to give us our second win of the season, which is really good. But again, there's a drop week, which means that the points won't count for one of the races, which is probably going to be Sebring. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, and we come across the line now to win this race. So thank you guys so much for watching. We have Red Bull Ring Austria next, which I love that track. I've put in almost over 200 laps at that track, and you can find a live stream where I did IMSA there. So another one of my tracks that I freaking love that track. And I'm going to be doing the Lamborghini again. I might do the Lamborghini for the rest of the season. I'm going to see, but this Lamborghini is, I don't know, I'm just in love with this car almost. It's just such an amazing car. I like the BMW too. It was the safer option for the beginning of the season, but now it's the time to be a little bit more aggressive and use this Lamborghini, as it is an aggressive car. So that's going to be it for me. Hopefully you enjoy these videos. If you do, leave a like down below. Planning on doing a season montage at the end, which I'm really excited about. So that's gonna be a while from now, but we have a lot of interesting tracks in this season, including VIR and Charlotte Roval, which both tracks I haven't really done too much time on, so that's going to be interesting. But on to next week. You should see a track guide from me on Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.